Okay, so the final presentation here, as you can see from the title, the top 10 reflections for your leadership journey. And all I want to do is just sort of summarize everything, but more importantly, think it through from your perspective as a leader, and whether you want to continue on this route of being a leader, and how far you want to go, how hard you want to push, how many sacrifices do you want to make to become the best you can be. And I think it's all irrelevant unless you've got a passion for the area that you're leading in. I remember speaking to a coach the other day who was a great leader in a certain sport. He changed sports, and he was a great leader in that sport as well. And when I asked him, I said, "Are you going to continue in the role?" He said, "You know what, I'm probably not." He says, "Because I don't get out of bed thinking about this sport. I think about my passion, and it's not this sport." And it was a really interesting insight. He was very successful, but didn't have the passion for the area that he was leading in. Doing a great job, but I think ultimately he felt his potential was never going to be truly achieved, which I think is a good start point to the 10 reflections. So we all have experiences as leaders, but it's evaluating the experience that you've had. It's very easy in a leadership position to brush over leadership moments and not reflect on them and think, how did I handle that? How did that play out? Could I have done anything better? And I think it's that reflection time that ultimately sets apart the good from the great in terms of leadership. So make sure you do set some time apart, just some thinking time on your own about the experiences that you've had and what you've taken from them. Point 2, real leaders make a record of their experiences and then linger over it, ponder its meaning. Reflection turns experience into insight. So you become insightful as a leader because you know you've been in this position before. You know how to deal with a certain situation because you've had the experience and you've had the reflection and you've taken the lessons and you've learned. Leaders see opportunities and seek them before others do. Their expectations of themselves are always higher than any standards of others might set for them. So I think the best leaders I've seen operate, and certainly the way I try to think, is I try and see opportunities before others do. I mean, hopefully this jigsaw box is the case in point where I've seen an opportunity to pass on what I've learned as a leader. I want to do the same for rugby coaches and pass on what I've learned in a coaching context, more specifically for rugby. And I don't need anyone to tell me about the good and the bad times of the times I've led them, because I set the bar high for myself, and if I don't achieve what I've set out to achieve, obviously it's me that's disappointed more than anyone in the standards I've set. And hopefully I'll continue to do that and keep pushing the bar. Their leadership excellence is a gradual result of always striving to do better. So never pausing, never thinking we know it all, never thinking we can't learn from someone else. It's reading books, it's reflecting, it's listening, it's meeting people, it's everything, and never stopping, not even in your 50s or your 60s, because you just want to get better at what you're doing. I think this is an important point. Something I didn't really appreciate is that there is sacrifices that we have to make, and it could be leaving a job that you love, it could be leaving colleagues that you've got a huge amount of respect for, it could be giving up something more to do with your family or more to do with your personal lifestyle. But the reality is there is sacrifice to be made to get to the top, and not everyone wants to make that, which is fair enough. The higher we climb, the more we have, and the more we have, and the more difficult it is to let go of what we've worked for. That is why many climb part the way up the mountain and then stop. They come to a place they're unwilling to give up in order to go to the next thing. And I get that, 100% get it. You know, you worked hard, you've built an organisation, you've got it to where you want it to be, you're comfortable, and then there's a challenge ahead and you think, do I really need to give up all this up to take on the next challenge, or can I just stay where I'm at? And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just a good reflection point to think, where are you on that pathway and what are you prepared to give up to go to the next thing? Defining moments shows who we really are. Whatever is truly inside us is revealed. Handled well, a defining moment can cement a relationship and bond leaders and followers for life. So sometimes defining moments come along and you can see them coming. You know there's a timeline that's going to result in a certain situation emerging, good or bad. And it's planning for that, but more importantly, it's handling it. Sometimes you can plan, sometimes they happen without warning, but you've got to make sure that you handle those moments well, because that's where you get truly measured as a leader. And you can prepare for them. Now, you can't prepare for everything. Who's to say what's going to come around the corner? But there is a certain standard of behaviour you can expect from yourself. And you need to recognise the defining moment, and then ultimately behave accordingly in consistency with your values. If you want to be a good leader, get used to criticism. Remember, it's often the leadership that's criticised, not the leader. And that's easier said than done, I can assure you. It is tough because there is criticism, and people will be criticising your leadership. Is it personal? It certainly feels personal. But I think on reflection, 2 years down the line for me, it wasn't just personal about me, but it felt that way. But I didn't have to take that choice. I didn't have to put myself in that position, and that's the point about the next challenge and what you're prepared to give up. And the final point: imagine life is a game where you're juggling 5 balls: work, family, health, friends, and spirit. You quickly work out that the work ball is rubber and will bounce back. The others are made of glass, so if you drop one, it will be damaged permanently. So the final point is this: you don't get another chance at family. You don't get another chance with your health. You don't get another chance with your friends. You don't get another chance with your own collective spirit, your individual spirit that drives you and motivates you. Look after those. Look after those things, because you don't want to damage them. You don't want to damage your family, your health, your friends, and yourself. Work will always be there. And it's easier said than done, I know. But certainly the experiences I've been through, I certainly would put this as number 1, even though it's number 10, if you get my point. Anyway, listen, I hope you've enjoyed it. And there's lots more to come. And certainly I'll enjoy connecting on the webinars.